Hello and welcome to my weather forecast. In today's video, I will be showing you the updated severe weather probabilities from the Storm Prediction Center here for today. Also looking ahead at some more severe weather as we head into Monday and Tuesday across the deep south. And also looking at snowstorm here as we move into the northeast, and then looking ahead for much of the country and expecting a spring warm-up. So let's get right into it here. The Storm Prediction Center's Day 1 outlook, you can see an enhanced risk across the eastern Carolinas from east North Carolina, northeastern South Carolina, with a slight risk from eastern Virginia down through here, the Myrtle Beach area, down into portions of Charleston, South Carolina, getting into Jacksonville, Florida, Orlando, down towards Tampa, and in towards the Daytona Beach area. It was a slight risk of severe thunderstorms ongoing this morning. Tornado probabilities from the Storm Prediction Center, a 5% area here up into eastern North Carolina, far northeastern South Carolina, and getting in toward the central Florida regions where a couple of isolated tornadoes are possible, the storms that are ongoing this morning. Wind probabilities are the highest, I think, across eastern North Carolina into northeastern South Carolina, but cannot discount maybe a few 60 to 65 mile per hour wind gusts here into central Florida as well. And then the hail risk here is not really that big of a deal, but you can't rule out maybe some quarter-size hail with some of these storms as they continue to push out across the eastern portions of the United States. Now, looking ahead here, this is Monday into Tuesday next week for severe weather. The Storm Prediction Center has already outlined portions of eastern Texas, northwest Louisiana, southwestern Arkansas, and the far southeastern Oklahoma for a slight risk of severe weather, and a marginal risk extending from near New Orleans, getting up towards southwestern portions there of Arkansas, southeastern Oklahoma, and surrounding areas down towards Houston, and portions there around the Dallas area where they could see some strong thunderstorms, 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, and some quarter-size to even half-dollar-size hail with these storms. And the probabilities of 5 to 15%, 15% being that slight risk there into eastern Texas. So we'll be watching this as this moves closer. And then now let's look over here at the GFS. Regarding the severe weather potential, you can see as we head into the Monday time frame, Monday all will be quiet across Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana here at 7 in the morning. And then as we progress toward the midday hour, you can see still quiet across most of the area as we'll see daytime heating. The instability will start to rise. As you can see here, the instability will start to rise a little bit, not showing up here, but I think maybe a little bit of instability on the order of 500 joules per kilogram cannot be ruled out, especially across northeast Texas here. And then that'll only grow just a bit more ahead of the storm system. I think up to around 1,000, 1,500 joules per kilogram cannot be ruled out across portions here of East Texas, maybe here getting up towards southeast Oklahoma, southwestern Arkansas, and getting into much of Louisiana as this continues to move. This is 7 p.m. on our Monday evening this next week, and then thunderstorms will develop. They will kind of consolidate and organize into a line into portions of eastern Texas and then move eastward into Louisiana, southern Arkansas, maybe even getting into western Mississippi before they start falling apart. And some of those storms could produce 60 mile per hour wind gusts, quarter to half-dollar size hail, and yes, cannot even rule out the potential of an isolated tornado or two as well along some of this line, or maybe if you can get a discrete supercell potentially ahead of the line as well, and the moist warm air. So we continue here with the storms. You can see 7 o'clock, and then this is getting towards 7 in the morning on Tuesday, some ongoing thunderstorms. At this point, I think the instability will start to wane, but the low-level jet will still be cranking here out of the south-southwest, so you could still see some pretty decent thunderstorms with heavy rain, maybe some isolated embedded severe weather, but I think the severe weather threat will still be more focused here into East Texas, northwest Louisiana, southwestern Arkansas, and far southeast Oklahoma here as we head into overnight on Monday. But definitely some heavy rain as this line continues to progress eastward. And then as we head toward midday, all of this kind of consolidates again into another line and kind of reinvigorates as it pushes eastward. And you can see another line pushing through portions here of Florida. I think the severe weather here will also probably be outlined, and I think it has been, from the Storm Prediction Center, at least a slight risk potentially here across the area from southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, southern Georgia, and far north and northwest Florida into the Panhandle here for a chance of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, quarter-size hail, and also, yes, the chance for another isolated tornado or two. Now let's go into the snowstorm part of it here. You can see the North American model. You can see across the Northeast, snow is flying right now here across portions of Pennsylvania, much of New York State, getting in down towards West Virginia, and portions here of far northern Virginia, and getting back kind of into the Appalachians here of eastern Kentucky, far east Tennessee, and portions here getting down in towards far western Virginia and North Carolina here into the Appalachians in the upper elevation. And then you can see as we progress, this is 11 this morning, the snow will continue to move slowly to the north and east, still 1 to 2 inch snowfall rates, 1 to 2 inch per hour snowfall rates across much of eastern New York, portions of eastern Pennsylvania, getting into western Maine, Virginia, getting some snow as well. A little bit lighter snow down here in Virginia, however, and then as we continue to progress through this afternoon, it will continuously be snowing across northern Maine, down into Vermont, New Hampshire, portions here of Massachusetts, eastern New York, and down here through the New York City region, down towards portions of New Jersey with snowfall all afternoon relentlessly. So a big snow shield, and this will only continue, even snowing here well into the evening hours. This is 8 p.m. here this evening, and you can see the snow is still flying across portions of Maine here, getting down into Vermont, New Hampshire, lingering snow showers down here in the New York State and also into Pennsylvania on the backside, but a lot of wind will be with this storm. So you can see the winds out of the northwest probably gusting up to around 40 or so miles per hour. That will blow the snow around for sure. So definitely be mindful of that when traveling. So you could have some hazardous travel with all that wind blowing that snow around. And the North American model is showing some decent snow still. I think about 6 to 10 inches here from portions here of far northeast Pennsylvania, getting up through eastern New York State, Vermont, and portions of New Hampshire, and getting up into western Maine. Could see about 6 to 10 inches worth of snow when this is all said and done. So a pretty decent snowmaker for sure as this here moves across the northeast as we head through the day today into tonight. Now looking ahead for everybody who's wanting the spring weather here, the Climate Prediction Center's 6 to 10 day temperature outlook does show much of the country, including the northeast that had the snow, well above average temperatures as we head toward the middle and portions of March, the March 17th through the 21st time period. You can see much above average across the eastern 2/3 of the country, and a little bit below average here in the far west and the Rockies. That is probably due to some upper elevation snow and maybe some rain and some storm systems coming off the Pacific Northwest. Still some slightly above average temperatures here across the Southwest, and here, like I said, a lot of the eastern 2/3 of the country is going to be in store for a warm-up as we head into the March 17th through March 21st time period. Now let's look even farther ahead. The Climate Prediction Center's week 3 to 4 temperature outlook, and you can see this is from March 26th through even the opening week or so of April through April 8th. And about 80 to 90% of the country is actually at least above average to even much above average with temperatures here across especially the central plains, the southern plains, into the southeast, where temperatures could be, probably on the order of 20 or so degrees above the average for that time period for end of March into early April. And this is a little concerning to me, just a slightly here as I was looking at some of the longer range weather models. I think there's going to be a chance of a storm system potentially getting into the northwest and kind of diving down with a trough and then ridge in the east here. And I think there's a chance we could see a few severe weather storm outbreaks as we head toward the end of March into early April. As we start to warm up, the instability starts to grow. We get a lot more moisture in the atmosphere from the Gulf of Mexico here being opened up and pulling northward. So I do think in the central plains, the southern plains into the southeast, maybe even getting into the Tennessee and Ohio valleys, do watch this here as we head toward the end of March into early April, because I do think the chances there for at least a few severe thunderstorm outbreaks here to unfold as we head toward the end of March into early April, which could include tornadoes. So be mindful of that. I was just kind of looking at the longer range GFS and European weather models earlier this morning, and it's showing the potential for it. Not that it's a likelihood at this point because it's 3 to 4 weeks out, but definitely wanted to give you a heads up on the potential there, especially with this big warm up on the way. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you liked it, and please like my video as well. Remember to subscribe to my channel and also to my page here, and I will have a video as we head into potentially later today or even tomorrow morning regarding the longer range more in detail, and also here the chances of severe weather across the south and the southeast as we head into early and middle of next week. So thank you for watching.